Now, once you have access to screencast.com, what you can do is you can go to your share button, you can go to the drop-down menu, and then you can go to screencast.com. What you're going to want to do is to click this gear so that you can put in your login and password. You're going to choose a default folder for your TechSmith account, or you can choose to prompt for the file name and folder every time that you do this. You can choose to put your URL and thumbnail on the clipboard. And then once you do that, you can then click Save. Now what you have is a way of taking a screenshot and then sharing that screenshot with a direct link. So what you're going to do is you're going to click this capture button, and you're then going to take your screenshot. Then that image will be sent to your screencast account. You're going to give that file a name and choose the folder. Once you do that, you'll then click OK. What you'll then want to do is you'll then want to view the link inside of your browser. Or you can click this button that says Get the Link. TechSmith will then give you a link inside of your browser. What you're then going to do is click this Share button. You'll then copy this link in order to give to those with whom you want to share, or you will embed the code into your website. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. If we go one step down in our capture window, you're going to see three drop-down boxes. You're going to see a selection box, an effects box, and a share box. Now, the selection box will allow you to be specific about the area that you're going to be grabbing. So, for example, you can choose to grab a specific region. And if that's the case, when you click the capture button, you're going to be able to specify the region of the screen, and you're going to be able to do that by selection. You're going to be able to capture the entire window. If that's the case, when you click the capture button, you'll then be capturing the entire window, as you can see. We're now going to click the escape button. We can choose to capture the full screen. We click capture. That's going to allow us to capture the full screen. We can choose to capture a scrolling window. That's going to be similar to the panoramic window. When we click scrolling window, we're going to click capture, and then this is going to open us up into the window. And what we can do is we can click the arrows so we can capture a vertical scrolling area. In this case, we're just going to click the down arrow, and then what's going to happen is that Snagit is going to scroll for you and process your entire capture using the automatic controls. You can also do the panoramic window, which you can do in the all-in-one area, and you can do something interesting called grab text. In this case, we're going to click this link, we're going to capture, and then what we're going to do is we're going to highlight a specific area. In this case, we're going to highlight this area of our screen. That's going to bring us into an editing window, and instead of just giving us the image, Snagit is going to grab the text, and we can then use this text in our content. Now, there are also advanced features, and if we go to this advanced menu, you're going to see that we can capture a specific object. We can also select multiple areas. So in this case, we click capture, and what we would do is we would select the multiple areas. We'd select one area. We can select a second area. Once we release the mouse, we can then click Finish. That's going to bring us into our editor, and you're going to notice that we have two images inside of our editor. Now lastly, we're going to skip down to the file, because what we can do with the file capture is we can click this capture button, and basically that's going to have us look to our hard drive. We can grab a specific image or a specific file. We can indicate that file here. We can open that file into our editor, and you'll see the file open in our editor here. So basically, the selection tab allows us to select something specific and then use it in our content. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Now within the Image tab, you will make a specific selection. Now each selection then can have an effect with it. So for example, we can do the file selection, and then we can then capture that file with a specific effect. So for example, let's assume that we're going to capture the file, and we're going to do so with a border. Now once we use that border, we can then click on this settings gear, and then we can do some settings. So for example, we can widen the border, we can change the color of the border, and then once we have it the way we want it, we can then capture. And then we're going to choose the file. We're then going to click open, and you'll see the image now captured with a border around it for us to be able to use with our content. We can also use a filter. In this case, we're going to click on the settings gear, and then we're going to choose a specific filter. So for example, we can say that what we want to do is to invert the colors. And then we can then capture the image. We'll click capture. We'll open it into our editor. And you'll see now that the colors of the image have changed. The original colors looked with this background. However, with colors inverted, our image looks different. In addition to the filters, we can also use a shadow. We're going to click capture. We're going to grab our image. And then our editor is going to open again. When our editor opens, we'll then see the shadow that we have on. We can also, with our selection, create capture information. If we click on the gear icon, we can determine how much info we're going to place with the image once it is captured, as well as to customize that information. For example, in this case, we can customize the font. We can then click capture. So basically, we can capture the image using any of the menu items that we have here in order to enhance our overall image. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome. You're now looking at the TechSmith.com website, and in particular, you're looking at the section for Snagit, its screen capture program. Snagit is designed to work on your desktop computer, whether it's Windows or Mac, to capture a screenshot or a video. It's also made to take that screenshot and to help you to be able to annotate it with identifying information. What this does is allows you to create detailed and accurate graphics for your instructional content. The program integrates with other applications, specifically both Microsoft and Google, in addition to Evernote, YouTube, Dropbox, and others. Now, although the program is not Camtasia, it does function as a screen recorder, allowing you to record yourself working through specific steps. That means then that you are allowed to record your webcam as well as audio content. You can create animated GIFs, trim down video clips, and then record your entire iOS screen. Now, Snagit starts with a free trial as well as allowing you to buy the program outright. It's possible that you may already have a version of Snagit on your personal computer. In that case, you can upgrade that version for less than the full price. And we'll talk about that in the next video. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Welcome back. In order to start with Snagit, you can start with the free trial. This will allow you to download a full version of Snagit for 15 days. Or if you already know that you want the program, you can go to this button and you can buy the program outright. As of the recording of this video, the current version of Snagit is $49.95. You can buy an additional year of maintenance for $12.49. Now, it's possible that you may have a current version of Snagit on your personal computer. If that's the case, you can go to this help area. You can click on this link that says check for updates. And when you click that link, you're going to come up with this dialog box. You're going to click the Learn More button. That's going to bring you to an area where you can upgrade your Snagit version. And we're going to go ahead and click this upgrade button. We're going to go ahead and add the additional year of maintenance, then click Add to Cart. We're then going to go to Checkout. Now what you can do is you can opt to have your card billed on an annual basis, and if you already have an account for Snagit or for Camtasia, you can use that account by signing in here. Once we have our order, we're going to download the Snagit installer. If you still have the old version open while you're doing the install, you're going to need to close that version. Once you've done that manually, you'll then click this button that says Close Snagit. You'll then want to make sure that you read the license terms, and once you do that, you'll then click Accept. You'll then click Install. You'll then go through the install process. Once the process is complete, you can then click Continue. What you'll then want to do is to enter your software key. Once you do that, your Snagit window will then be on your desktop. You'll then be ready for your use. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.